7 favorite tarot decks that I keep reaching for just to check my reading and just to see that it makes sense. These are decks that I have come to trust. And if that's the case, then I'm sure there are other people as well who feel the same way. So I'm going to actually start with number 7. So number 7 is this one, Tarot de Luz. This is what it looks like. And these are the cards. I love the hand drawn feeling. I find that my readings are really good with this deck and precise. So this is the one I like. You can see the 8 of Cups here. It's evocative. There's this bird flying. There's an infinity symbol. There's peace here, but there's also tears and a search for something more. The disappointment on her face. It's just a lovely 8 of Cups here. Um, with the Queen of Cups in this deck, she's shown as immersed in water, and this water is has many things in it, including a mermaid, a treasure chest, a heart. There's a lot going on in the Queen of Cups. She's holding a cup there, holding on to something that she finds beautiful, fulfilling, and that's what she wants. She wants to be emotionally fulfilled. That was a really good representation of the Queen of Cups. 4 of Wands, the serpent eating its tail, infinity, everything whole together. That makes sense to me. And so these are some of the cards that I like from this deck. I also like the Death card with the Scarecrow and the barrenness of the land. I thought it was very well depicted here. The Ace of Wands, the spikes coming out of the um, stick, and then that eye in the middle. So, and there's, those that shooting energy from the Ace of Wands. Something's beginning, something starting afresh. Um, it's springtime. That's what it makes me think of. Springtime, new energy, a new beginning. So I do like the imagination in this deck. A little bit of a change from the typical Rider Waite, which I absolutely love. So that's Tarot de Luz, deck number 7. Deck number 6, I really had to struggle for that one. How about hmm actually let's go with Green Witch Tarot. This deck has a companion if you care for that, or you could, I think you could also just get the deck. What I like about this deck is this sort of Yuletide, like a Christmassy feeling to it, but ancient Christmas. Uh, Maybe the times of Stonehenge, medieval, sort of before Christianity became a thing, or like it's much more back to nature, more pagan in its influences, and very, very, very evocative. Like the Ten of Wands, the woman climbing up that mountain, and there we see the rocks, the pattern there, the Stonehenge. Let's see that. You can now, yeah. So there it is, that pattern, and the craftsman-like feeling of it when things were made by hand. the tools over there, um, wooden, everything's wooden. There's a lot of green. There's a lot of like I would say it's 19th century sort of elements there, maybe before the Industrial Revolution. We see the Stonehenge everywhere. Like we see it in a few cards. And the Five of Pentacles, I think, is particularly evocative. She's left out, but there's this lizard, which is a symbol of growth and change. The pentacles are hanging just above her, and there's light over there. She's not looking at all of those things. She's kind of looking ahead and ruminating, feeling really cold and struggling. So this is a really interesting deck. Um, the Three of Swords is quite different in this deck. Three of Swords is about going back to something, but finding that it's not the same. It's not the same. Three of Swords, severe disappointment. She's standing there looking at that place where she used to belong, and she doesn't anymore. The swan, the symbolism, it's a good one. I think this is a deck for readings around belonging and family and what that means to us. This is a particularly strong deck for that. There was a year I had so many requests around that theme, around family and belonging. I used to reach for this deck a lot. So this is deck number 6. Then I want to show you a deck that's actually been my favorite for so long. Um, and it is the Everyday Witch. I have loved this deck for a very, very long time. It's cheerful, it's fun, it's very creative. What I like about this deck is the creative vibe. Definitely, definitely love this deck a lot. Um, this one, just going to put this to the side here so we can look at it. We have, I like the feeling of the cards. They are quite slippery. They haven't, like, there was one or two of them that I've completely destroyed. So this is my third of the same. But still, they lasted pretty well. I just make sure that I always wash my hands dry, no cream on my hands and stuff like that, in order to keep my decks preserved when I'm doing a reading, keeping them away from my bedside table, things like that, where I can, just casually pick them. This is again a really interesting deck. Five of Pentacles. She's left out, but there's somebody there with her. She's not completely alone. She has her familiar there as well. She's got her cat. She's looking inside the house where things are all lit up. So it's not as dire and dark um, as in many tarot decks. This is more like somebody's approaching um, the light. They're kind of realizing what it's about, and what truly matters, rather than worrying a lot about money and belonging. Seven of Swords is amazing. I just love the curtains flying out. So this deck grows on you. Like with every reading, you'll notice something a little bit different. Maybe you'll notice the pattern here. There's quite a few things that you can see as you go on in your tarot journey, and it might pop up in your reading. So it's a great deck to grow with. Um, this is such a beautiful picture of that family, the structured family, the family that's like shown to the world, family that appears in pictures. It's such a photographic kind of family here, like that. This one is a particularly interesting moon. The cat sees themselves as a panther in the water, and again, it's bringing up lots of meanings around the moon card. the witch flying across the moon. It's a full moon, the clouds, the stars. There is a magic sort of moment here, and that's been captured really well by the moon card. The moon can make things seem magical. So, yeah, seem much more than they are. So, Five of Wands, again, very evocative image of people talking to each other, and then another set of people. I would say cats are people. Lots of cats through this deck. Absolutely amazing deck. Many, many successful readings. So it's definitely among my top five. I've put it at number five. Um, but actually I use it so much it could be a number one. So my decks from the next five decks, they definitely could be all in the number one spot. For someone they would be, but for me today I'm not doing that. Number four spot, this is my recent acquisition. It's a recent deck, it's more contemporary. And this deck it's got this gorgeous moon, kind of makes me think of summer and full moon and things like that. It's called the Amber Moon Tarot. Comes with a little book. Um, Amber Moon Tarot. Something about that red moon. Maybe it's the fires, the summertime, the energy of this year, 2026. Something about that has brought this up to the fourth place for me. I like the red guilt here, but what really got me was the accuracy of the readings. The One of Cup, like she's swimming in joy and emotion. That's like kind of interesting how it pops out. The dark brown background, it's a little bit different. The Three of Cups, there are two people in the Three of Cups. So it kind of makes you wonder with the way she's looking aside, where's the third one? There's somebody missing. So, a very interesting way to depict. Then we have Knight of Coins here with that plant, the pentacle there. Um, Let me pick up a random card. The Queen of Coins definitely makes me think more of a Queen of Wands in this deck, but because everything is so sort of red orange themed in this deck, I find that even the wands have that red orange, but somehow it's hard to know why. Um, but somehow the readings have been pretty interesting. Now, this 10 of coins is different. It's not showing a family, it's showing a jar full of money, savings, wealth. So it depicts wealth as savings, as a jar. Mm, I like the diversity in this deck as well. There's a King of Cups who seems very spiritual, as if he's meditating. Four of Swords, again, lots of meditation, contemplation in this deck. King of Swords, looking up, you know, very abstract, looking up. There's that red, theme going on. Reminds me of red and gold, like very red and gold sort of theme here. And if those colors resonate with you, then this could be a really good deck to invest in. I've done quite a few readings with this one and pretty pleasantly surprised. It's more like a 2026 acquisition, whereas the other decks I've been talking about, they have been with me for years and years and years. Okay, now for deck number four. Sorry, deck number three. Let's do deck number three. Let's choose one. Um, okay. Witch's Tarot. Witch's Tarot. I've had this deck, not this particular one. This is again one of those decks that it's taken a long, long time for me. with this deck, and I have had many iterations. This is probably the third or fourth version of this, copy of this. Um, the Hermit, the cold, the light, the robes, very magical. Again, very magical. The Queen, the coldness, you can literally feel the coldness of the Queen, and her high righteousness. You know, she's sitting right on top of something. She's on top of it. She is taking the higher ground. The blues, the Three of Swords, very evocative, very very amazing rendition. The dark clouds, the flowers dropping. There's a lot going on in this Three of Swords. It's like she's not alone. There's all these energies around her, and something is dropping away, exposing the truth. The moon, very interesting moon. She's searching for something in the moonlight. There are these creatures behind her, looking. So she's not alone. She's traveling with her spirit guides, and she is holding a light. And this light is coming from some words that she's carrying, a twig, stick of some kind. She's carrying this light through. The King of Swords. Look at his throne. There's greenery there. It's quite the yellow shows how much this person relies on their logic. There is a bird in their hand, likes to dominate. King of Swords here. Page of Cups, very interesting image of being overwhelmed, and then smiling, like such a dreamer, such a sweet, innocent energy. The Magician, it's quite similar to Rider Waite, so it's not too far off Rider Waite. So, uh, this is a good deck, really reliable readings, and definitely makes it to the top three for me, and I think for a lot of people I know. Now, my current top twos. I discovered this in 2025, but I think it's been around. It's the Artist Decoded. So, again, these kinds of decks, I mean, it comes with its own box. These kinds of decks I find are a departure from Rider Waite and have their own sort of rhythm. I just love this deck, the way the brush strokes are depicted, the way the oil paint, it literally looks like it's an oil painting. Very, very beautiful deck. The aesthetics are really so adorable, so lovely to just look at them. The strength card with this in this stage, instead it's a little different in Rider Waite. So she has this beautiful lion behind her. She's all this courage that's holding her, behind her, supporting her. So there's these big forces that are supporting her. The Emperor, this is a really interesting Emperor in that the face is not shown. So unseen powers is what it makes me think of. The Lovers, the brushstrokes, the colors choice is just so beautiful, very romantic, very, very beautiful. The Star, the woman walking towards the star in this absolutely beautiful natural environment, makes me think of a long, long journey towards something absolutely magnificent, very, very noble, very, very beautiful, above the norm. So this deck is really beautiful. Let me show you the Queen of Wands. So the faces are somewhat hidden, like the brushstrokes. She's so tall. That's the first thing you think of. She's so tall. She's such stature. There's the beautiful sunflower next to her and her cat right there. She's very tall, very graceful. She has all this yellow on her, yellow symbolizing confidence, charisma, cheerfulness. She's got an amazing attitude. She's stuff is behind her. She's done a lot. She's been, you know, been to a lot of things. Like all these things are behind her. Again, very different way to depict the Queen of Wands. Very lovely. So I have been picking the theme. Five of Pentacles is my theme card to talk about in this. And Five of Pentacles, there are two people walking towards a structure where there is pentacles, which is wealth, abundant, material things, and they're walking towards that. There's lots of snow. It's hard, but again, this is about purpose. So there's purpose here, and with this purpose, this is enabling them to walk straight. So they're walking straight towards their purpose. So again, very nice, very good deck for readings where we are creating something new, some maybe a business owner starting out, an artist starting out, like somebody who is listening to their talent and trying to make something out of it. It would be a wonderful deck for those kinds of readings. And if you're one of those people who perhaps own a YouTube channel and you want to see, you want to um, select a few decks to read from rather than a bunch of decks, I would say this would be a really helpful deck. Now the card quality, mm, it's not too great. It's a little bit like a cardboardy quality. It doesn't have that plastic laminate, but I haven't had any problem shuffling or picking just the right card from this deck. So the thing is, the deck, the images, the feeling of it should resonate with you, and if it does, then you'll be able to enjoy the readings. So I'm going to put this one away. And we are coming close to our top two decks. So the top two, I would say one has to be the Morgan Greer, which is, it's a deck that doesn't depart too much from um, Rider Waite itself. I just love the close up. The images are kind of close up, they're in your face. The color scheme, the card quality, it's very easy to hold, slip. It's hard to, I've had this for like years and years now, at least 10 years, and no damage on the same deck. So if that's why I've put it in the top two, is because you're gonna get super reliable readings, provided of course that you know how to read and you have that resonance. But it will also be easy to work with and not destroy itself. So if that's a concern, you want to maximize, you want to minimize the amount of stuff you have, and you want to maximize the quality of your readings, I would say this is a nice deck. You can just put it in a bag, and a silk bag, and just keep it with you always, just to kind of pull a few cards for a quick insight into a situation. So I would say this is my number two. And then mm, now for the number one, I would say that it would be a typical Rider Waite deck. For me, that's the Universal Tarot deck. I just love it because of the gleaminess. I like that gleam, that sparkle kind of engages my eye. And I enjoy looking at these cards and picking up the energy, bouncing off the energy from these. So I really, really enjoy this one. I would say this would be um, a close tie. And same thing with the reflective tarot deck. I do like, shiny, tarot decks, because for some reason, when I'm reading, the energy sort of, like, how energy is, it's just energy. So this shininess kind of bounces it off, and I enjoy that. So I would say the reflective tarot or any tarot deck, I like a smaller one. Again, the cards are really strong. So I like that they're small so they can spread out on a smaller table. Um, and I can let my imagination go. Like this is probably shining away right now. I'm just going to turn the light down a little bit. But yeah, it's got this rainbow reflection. Um, and I kind of really enjoy that. Without such bright lights, it's fine. It doesn't really bother me. Um, so these two, I would definitely say, are among the top. Um, and even though this is not a tarot deck, I do pull on the Lenormand when I need something concrete and I want something direct, concrete, clear, and that's it. No fluff, like just really quick. I love that. I have also used the expanded edition sometimes, and it's been interesting. I enjoy pulling cards that are Lenormand and tarot together sometimes to just to get a sense of what's going on in the energy. I often find a lot of resonance between the two cards, so they're not that far off in terms of readings. It's just that with Lenormand, things are very clear. You know, it's kind of more mm, bottom line type of deck. So, what's the bottom line? And so I'll use that. So, I would say my top three would be my top, so number one, and these three would be there. Like if I had to just take a couple of decks with me, I'm traveling, I would probably pick up this one or the tin, the Rider Waite tin, the small tin, because then the cards are safe, and a Lenormand, and maybe just grab one of another tarot, Rider Waite, or I would just grab Morgan Greer or one of my witches decks as well. So if I had room for three decks, I would go that way. I would just take these three, four, and I could spend hours reading from that and come up with insights. When I have more time, more luxury, more space, then I would take this one, this one. Then I could like use any of these, like the Witch's Garden. This one's a really great deck, and I'm going to talk about it in another video. The Wild Unknown, Marigold, the Sufi Tarot. Like, there's a few lovely decks that I would want to spend more time and energy just delving into it. Then I would use those. So, what I would say is that I hope you enjoyed this reading and I would love to hear your feedback and comments. Have you tried any of these decks? What do you think about these decks? If you have a favorite deck or a few favorite decks, feel free to post it on the comments. I would love to see what you are, what you like. And if you would like more readings that cover different decks and the kind of images that they have, or just more information about different decks and how that could, influence a reading, or if you would like me to pull some Lenormand cards and some tarot decks for you, I'm hoping to kind of do that more and put more videos up on this channel. So I look forward to hearing from you. It's been a while and it's really good to be back.